We just got our first look at the future of Holiday Park in Hasloch, Germany, and I think you guys are going to be pretty excited about this one. This seems very promising. We're looking at an 80 million euro investment.
So about 87 million US dollars.
Yeah, so it's going to be spread out over several years. We're looking at half of that going to a brand new water park, but in this press release that they sent out, the real interesting stuff comes a little bit later.
The director of Holiday Park in Germany was quoted saying, "The major project for a new themed area at Holiday Park is currently in the first construction phase. Together with the popular Tomorrowland Music Festival, the park is planning a unique experience and spectacular major attraction for the 2026 season, aimed primarily at adults and teenagers."
AKA a thrill coaster.
And I don't know, I think we've done a thrill coaster themed to Tomorrowland.
Themed to Tomorrowland? What could that be? Guys, in case you didn't know, Holiday Park is owned by the same group that owns Plopsa Land Japan. What could this mean? I don't know. Sounds like a MACK Extreme Spinner to me.
Yeah, and we looked at the price tag. It's about $17 million. That's how much it costs to make Ride Happiness.
Which, you account for inflation, so maybe a little bit more, but that's still like $40 million to do like a thrill coaster plus some other stuff. I mean, you can afford a full MACK Extreme Spinner.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that $17 million price tag includes like all the thematics and stuff.
Right.
My guess is that's just the coaster.
Yeah.
So like tack on all that, like that'll probably end up like most of that.
And this is a big deal for Holiday Park. Their last coaster was in 2018. It was a small family coaster, indoors, really cute. But their last thrill coaster was Sky Scream, which is a Skyrocket 2. It opened in 2014. So if we're looking at 2026, that would have been over 10 years since they added a big, major thrill ride.
Yeah, and I'm not maybe the best person to speak on Holiday Park because our day there was pretty short. I think we were traveling that day.
Yeah, we were there for a pretty short amount of time. And when I went the first time, I also only did about like half a day there. So like if you counted my full visits, I've spent like one day at the park and you got like half a day.
Exactly. So like I don't have like the best recollection of every detail of the park. However, I do know they have Expedition G-Force, which is a very good roller coaster. I think it is vastly overhyped, but that's a whole different subject. But I think that another ride on that caliber would be really good for this park. Because right now it's like that, and then it jumps down to, like you said, a Skyrocket 2, and then a kid's family coaster, which was very fun.
Yeah, it is fun, but they only have 3 roller coasters.
Exactly.
So the park is not huge. Like, they have a couple different, like, themed areas. I really like the indoor section. They have, like, Wikiland, which is, like, this really cute, like, well-themed section. They used to have a couple other roller coasters that they've taken out over the years. One closed in 2016. That was a Wild Mouse. And then they had a Corkscrew that closed in 2013. So they have a history of roller coasters. But a MACK Extreme Spinner, I feel like, would be the ride of this park.
Yeah, and it's no secret that Germany has, like, a stupidly amazing collection of coasters, right?
Yeah.
So I think like any park in Germany has to kind of put something out there like on that level to compete.
Yeah, I mean, you have
what I mean?
Tripsdrill nearby. I know it's a fan park, but Schwaben Park is nearby. Europa Park is their biggest, probably, competitor. That's, like, not too far away at all. Phantasialand just to the north. So, I mean, the Germans have a lot of options to go with.
So, like, if you want to really put yourself on the map, like, you gotta do something big. I think the MACK Extreme Spinners are pretty fantastic, if I haven't said that once or twice already.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great choice.
Right, and, so Holiday Park, I feel like, because it's a smaller park, I don't feel like attendance-wise they probably do the same numbers that, like, Plopsa Land goes. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a slightly smaller version of Ride Happiness. There's no way that they're going to clone it. I mean, Ride Happiness was designed for that specific plot of land here. And at least in Holiday Park, supposedly it's going to go where their old ski show was, which is in the back of the park, past the Sky Scream coaster. So I'm not sure if they would fill in that lake or just have it go around it. I feel like with the crowds that Holiday Park gets, they are going to go with something that is still very extreme, but maybe not quite what Ride to Happiness is. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they only do, like, let's say 1 launch instead of the 2. Or maybe, like, they are very known for running 1 train on all their coasters. So maybe, like, to save money, they only purchase 1 train for this thing.
So, like, I have like weird conflicting feelings because on one hand, the people at MACK have said that they thought that Ride to Happiness was pushing the envelope, right?
Yeah.
That was going to be like as extreme as they could go, and then they realized that people still liked it, and people weren't walking off getting sick all the time, and in theory, we could push it further.
Sure.
However, on the other hand, when you go to Plopsa Land, Ride to Happiness doesn't usually have a crazy long line because it is such a family-oriented park otherwise.
Right.
So I feel like they'd have to kind of make that decision, like, are we going, like, the thrill route? Like, are we going to say, like, we're a thrill park? Or are we gonna stick to like the family park thing and like try to like tone it down and be a little more like Time Traveler? You know what I mean? Like Time Traveler.
Family thrill.
Yeah, exactly. Or again, where do they go the other way and they're like, hey, you can go bigger, so like do it.
My gut is saying that they're going to go with the more extreme version, more similar to Ride to Happiness than Time Traveler, because they already have Expedition G-Force, which is their thrill coaster. Plopsland, prior to Ride to Happiness, didn't have like a major thrill coaster. They had Anubis, but it's not huge. You know, we're looking at an Intamin mega coaster here. This thing is like pretty well known. So I feel like Holiday Park overall has been known for thrills, even though they don't have a ton of them. So I think that this would be very well received by the guests here.
It'd be well received by me.
That's true. I know it would get us all the way from the US back to Holiday Park for sure. Assuming that this is a MACK Extreme Spinner, which, I mean, just to clarify, there is nothing that outrightly confirms it is a MACK spinner. But, you know, process of elimination, I feel like if they're theming it to Tomorrowland, it'd make a whole lot of sense, especially like you could save some money just doing the exact same train design as what you have on Ride to Happiness. You know, and thematically they know that that would work and it would look good.
I just hope they name it something different.
Oh, I feel like they have to.
They have to, right?
Yeah, but assuming they do that, what would you like to see as far as like a ride experience goes?
I mean, I love how out of control Ride to Happiness is. Specifically, I love the way like it takes different inversions and then pairs it with also great airtime moments, like continuous fast pacing, like all throughout. And that drop is sick.
Yeah, because I mean, that was the thing. When they designed Ride to Happiness, they wanted to mimic the drop on Time Traveler, but they didn't have the terrain to use. And so that's why you have the rise up into the highest moment and then it drops you down from there. It's, you know, kind of like an elongated top hat. Holiday Park doesn't have terrain to work with, so it would be more similar to Ride to Happiness in that this wouldn't really be a terrain coaster. I would love to see some variation of that inversion that goes over the station for Ride to Happiness. Like how it's like the flying snake dive, how it just like keeps rolling over.
Yeah, I never know what to call that thing. It's bliss.
Yeah, I love corkscrews on the MACK Extreme Spinners because just depending on how you're oriented, you know, you could be rotating through this inversion. It just feels completely out of control.
Do you think it's odd that like they decided to go with Tomorrowland?
In a way, because you know, at Plopsland it makes sense because the Tomorrowland Music Festival is in Belgium. Holiday Park is considerably further from the festival, but I know that the festival is immensely popular for a lot of people from Germany to head up to Belgium for. So, you know, if there's an audience for it, then, you know, okay. But it is still, it's a little odd. I didn't expect them to bring over the Tomorrowland theme into another property.
I mean, I get it. Like, if you look at, like, Six Flags, like, how many Batman areas are there?
But Batman is known around the world. Does Tomorrowland have the same pull?
I mean, I feel like people in even the US know what Tomorrowland is.
That's fair.
Even if you don't have a clue about Tomorrowland, like visually it's so cool, like it doesn't matter.
Right.
like the setup for Ride to Happiness in that whole area is so cool. Like I don't think it matters.
It's like a steampunk futuristic vibe. Like it's like otherworldly. We said it's like stepping on another planet when you walk into that plaza. And this coaster, they said, will be part of a new themed section. So they will have a whole dedicated area for this coaster.
Yes.
Which should be pretty cool. I'm excited for the future of Holiday Park. Like now that we know this, that's hype. And again, the other $40 million, they're building like a new water park. They said they're also getting like a Smurfs dark ride, which should be really cool. So I think that they could do a really good job with this.
Absolutely.
So let us know down in the comments below, what do you want to see at Holiday Park? Do you think it's going to be a MACK Extreme Spinner like Ride to Happiness?
Or do you think we're crazy?
Yeah, is it going to be something completely different? I don't know. I mean, this is something that we're going to have to really wait and see on, but I'm excited to see what they have in store. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.